Hey guys, this is NERF Boy Productions here, and today I am here with a unboxing and review of the brand new NERF Zombie Strike Sledgefire. Yes, I finally have one. Let me explain myself why it took me so long to make this video. Realize it's been out in Target for a while now. I just got a Target in Canada. Of course, Target just came to Canada, and my Target did open a while ago, but since it's only just getting things in stock, this just came in stock now, so that's why I only got it now. So I apologize. This is as fast as I could get it if I didn't want to pay 150 bucks for one on eBay. So yeah, this is the Zombie Strike Sledgefire. So it is part of the Zombie Strike line. If I talk about it quickly, I guess it was originally invented specifically for HVZ players. So if you don't know what HVZ is, Humans vs. Zombies, it's a big game that a lot of students play on university campuses. It's like basically tag, but there's zombies versus humans, and the humans can kill the zombies with Nerf guns, and it's all very cool, and it's all revolves around Nerf, and you can mod your guns and stuff. And anyway, so the Nerf has started to come out with Zombie Strike line, which is like a whole new line of guns specifically for zombies. So this is the Sledgefire, and yeah, it's very cool. It's a shotgun, but we'll get more into that later. So for now, let's take a look at the box here. Nerf in the corner. I apologize, but I am sick, so yeah. So I just apologize if I sound a little different. Zombie Strike, Sledgefire, a cartoon picture of a guy, which I like. It's more comic book style, which is much nicer. And then on the back, what looks like a really cool thing. And this isn't just a bunch of random sketches. It does actually tell you how to use it. It says fires 3 darts at once, shows you how to load it, but it's a little diagram, which is very cool. Then again, Zombie Strike in the corner, and then that Nerf again, and then that little booklet. And that booklet says some stuff. It says mission, defend the safe house, and then there's a bunch of little bullet points there. You can pause the video, take a look at that if you want. But it's very cool. It just says stuff like location, top secret, blueprint, Sledgefire, and all the different Zombie Strike guns have these. But enough about the box. Let's unbox this gun and then see what we really get and with the Sledgefire. So let's go ahead, grab our scissors here. So on the side there's pieces of tape. Cut those. Okay, and then the other side tabs out. Let's see where that gets us. Alright, so now that can unfold from its spot, I think. Alright, so this whole cardboard piece, which was sitting in the box, can come out now. And then we get a couple of things hidden underneath here. We get the Sledgefire instructions, so that's one side, and then the other side has little diagrams on actually how to fire the gun, a little more in-depth than the stuff on the back of the box. And then this fell out. This is also very cool. It's held in by tape, but if we take it out, it's actually stencils. So like I said, this is for Zombie Strike line is designed for NERF HVZ players, Humans vs. Zombies. So by the way, Humans vs. Zombies has its own website. Type in HVZ, should come up. But it's very cool. These are some stencils that you get, and like I said, players in HVZ like to mod their guns. So I guess this is for if you want to mod your gun. You can spray paint stencils into your gun, right? So you lay this down on the gun and then you spray paint and then it comes out. Now let's talk about it. There's a Nerf one here. So you put that on the gun, you spray paint, and then you have a Nerf on the gun, which is very cool. And then some Zombie Strike stuff. So we have a hand, little zombie hand, if you can see it there. And then also a little walker. Okay. A zombie, whatever you want to call him. And then a thing of the Sledgefire. It's kind of hard to tell, but I can tell it's a thing of the Sledgefire. Doesn't look like much like that, but it's a thing of the Sledgefire. And then also the last one, which makes the most sense, is really a Zombie Strike stencil. It's the coolest. It's just the Zombie Strike logo. It's kind of hard to see through this cardboard, but the Zombie Strike logo. Alright, so those are the stencils you get. If we continue to open up the box here, cut some of this tape on the other side. Hopefully we can get into here soon. So yeah. Alright, that's cut. Is that it? Alright, that's came out now. Now, okay, so now this can, this can unfold into a big thing of cardboard. So there's the back of the box, and then Zombie Strike, and then some stuff there. And then now we have this, which is the gun attached, still attached to the cardboard by some twist ties on the back. So we'll undo those now. They're not too hard to undo, so we'll undo all those. Okay, so now all this stuff is undone. I'm just going to flip this over here. All those twist ties have been done. Oh, sorry about that. We can now pull off the gun. As graceful as ever. And, yeah. Alright, so the gun is held in by the stock with a piece of plastic. So just rip through there. Boom, and here's the Sledgefire. Pull out some of these twist ties still left on there. Yeah, that's the Sledgefire. More on that later. And then the last thing in the package is the darts, which are just held in by plastic, and they're taped on. You can simply rip them off like that. And then there's a little piece of cardboard holding in the back. I wouldn't recommend cutting this piece of cardboard here because you could risk cutting into the darts. You can just kind of peel it off. So pry it back. And then we get all our darts, and the Zombie Strike darts are N Strike Elites. So they're not streamlined darts. They're actually Elite darts. So they have that shorter piece on the inside, and they're better quality. So they do get those elite distances with the darts. So yeah, and as far as darts go, I'll talk about the amount of darts you get. Get those. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 darts, which is very good because you get 3 shells that hold 3 darts on this gun. So I'll talk about that pretty soon, I guess right now. So let's go over everything you get again. The stencils, the gun, the darts, and the shells for the gun. Now this is a cool gun. Yeah. So I'll go over the shells a little bit later. First, let's just take a look at the gun. So on the front, we got that Zombie Strike logo. But yeah, okay, so the stock comes down, which is nice because when you're actually holding it, instead of having to move your head down, like really far down, actually aim up your sights, like instead of having to go right to aim, you have to bring up the gun a bunch. You can just do that, and you can see right down the barrel, just like that. You can see right down. So it's very nice. Yeah, very, very nice. So the stock comes down, which is very helpful. In the stock, there are 3 compartments that go on top. Like, here's the butt, and then right here is a compartment that holds the shells. Right, so it's 3 triangles, and the shells push into there. Right, and so that's obviously just where you're gonna store the shells when you're not firing. Now the shells, the shells can go in both ways. If you put them in the way they're intended to, they click. And they click into place so that when you tip the thing upside down, even if I shake it like with all my force, it's not gonna come out. Man, it's not gonna come out. So yeah, you're good. So don't worry about that. It's not gonna fall out on you. So a cool thing is when the clips are in, I guess the shells, you put them in so that the darts face up, and then they can do that and go in. But then if you put them in the other way, they go down. And then there's this little rail underneath to keep them from going further down. So basically, when you put in the darts and fire the shell and then take it out, the way you know if you have an empty shell, because if you're quickly firing, you could grab a shell that's already empty and put it in your gun when it's already empty. So the way you tell is once you shot a shell and you go to put it back in your gun, you can actually, instead of putting it back like that and it gets mixed up with the other ones, you put it downwards so that you know which ones have been fired and which ones you have left, which is very cool. So now let's talk about a little bit about the shell. The air restrictors in the gun. I'm just gonna take a peek here and see. So there are air restrictors in the gun as well as the shells. This doesn't do very much, but there are some small air restrictors in the shells. So basically, you could honestly just drill those out. But it's 3 holes, and basically, take 3 darts. It's really self-explanatory. You can't put the darts in that way. You can put them in that way. So you put them in with the tips facing up. Alright, the tips will be exposed. So actually, they won't. They'll push all the way down. Push them down as far as they can go without being completely crammed, because that's bad for the dart, I guess. But, you know, a nice push, and they will go in all the way, which is very cool. You can also see your darts through little holes in the sides. That's not what those holes are intended for. I'd have to get into the mechanics of it if you guys actually want to understand, but you can see the darts through there. And then on the bottom, when the darts are loaded, it looks like that. And that's what the shells are, and then those can store in the stock, and you got your darts. So I'm just going to load up these other 2 shells here. Alright, and like I said, if you just put them in loose, they will sit on top. You actually need to push them down. That's not going to harm the dart if you don't push them down too much. But you want to push them down so that they're nice and flush with the back of the shell. So then we can load these guys back in there. And like I said, they're not coming out, so we're good. Zombie Strike is in faint letters on both sides of the stock. I don't know if you can see it. There. Zombie Strike. Which is very cool. And then just on the one side is the Zombie Strike logo on the gun. It's only on the one side, but it's there. And then Sledgefire's on the barrel. Sledgefire on that side, as well as the other side. So that's all very cool. Sledgefire has a hammer pin at the back, which is very cool. You actually pull down that hammer. Like with the barrel breaking stuff, you push down a tab on the side and broke the barrel, which isn't very cool. But this, you actually pull down the back like a traditional gun, and that's how you crack the barrel. So, like I was getting to, there's that hammer on the back. You push that down. Technically, you just push it down, right? Or then you pull it back, right? So you pull that barrel, or the hammer here. The barrel will open. It will then open up, and you can pull it down and load it. All right. Just it'll come to a point where it'll stop loading. Another issue the barrel break had was when you crack the barrel. It was very hard to click for a lot of people. You had to go right to the bottom, and then even further for that click before you could put it back. With this one, it's just very easy. Like it's not loaded right now. Now it was, right? So like not loaded, loaded. Pretty awesome. So like I was saying, it has one tactical rail on the top for any attachments you want, you know, standard tactical rail. That's all it has. It actually doesn't have one on the under mount. And you can understand why, because if you're going to put an attachment there, it's not going to work, because then you'll have to crack the barrel and it could get in the way and stuff. There's a cool looking trigger guard. It's not actually real, but it's a cool trigger guard piece. It looks like tape that's been taped around the trigger. That's just little aesthetic things. And then also tape around the handle, which is very cool. I like that tape. That's very nice. So all the Zombie Strike stuff has tape around it. The hammer shot, the Sledgefire, and as well as the machete. Which is the stuff that's been released so far. So enough about me blabbing. Let's get firing. All right. So just a firing demonstration before I actually do the range tests. Push that down, and then crack the barrel. Let's take a look at the inside first. There's 3 little pegs. Just ignore those. Okay. But on here, there's a nice spot for the shell. We take one shell out of there, and we load it in there. Really simple, right? And don't just leave it in loose. You push, and it'll click. You see that? And if you keep pushing, it's not gonna like eject and go back in. Just push it in, and it'll stay in. And then you load it back up, and it's fully ready to go. Now, unlike the barrel break, you actually cannot fire this gun one at a time. So you can't like half pull the trigger and it fires one, and then you pull it again, then it fires another, and then you pull it again and it fires the third. By the way, another perk between this one and the barrel break is this one shoots further, as well as it can shoot 3 darts at once. So yeah, let's take some shots here. These are not careful not to hit my guitar. These are not this is not a range test, obviously. I'm indoors. This is just a firing test. So here we go. Oh yeah, hit the light switch. Man, that's what I was aiming for. That is sweet. It is packs a punch. So I'll show you how easy it is to load again. If we pull down this hammer here, you just crack the barrel, put in a shell, right? Oh yeah, and one more thing. If you shoot and then you go to eject, the shell will then eject out like that, and you can put it back in, right? Put it back into your thing. So let's put in the next one, and then we're ready for another 3 shots. Alright, so it's all very cool. I've already fired 6. Might as well fire off the last one. Put that back in the stock as well. Last shots. Here we go. That actually hit the light switch, but it didn't have enough power to knock it out. So that's some firing tests. Yeah, that's a Sledgefire. It's very, very cool. I'm not going to do a firing test in this video. It's already been pretty long. I might do a separate video on that. But that was the firing tests. So it fires excellently. Is getting about the same distances as a elite gun. It's a shotgun, but it's going to go further. It's going to go just as far as a normal gun, which is very cool. I love the Sledgefire. It's awesome. I think you'll love it too. Even if you're not into the whole HVZ thing, if you just like a gun, if you're I mean, if you're getting this for a gift for a small child and you're afraid they'll be frightened by the whole zombie aspect of it, give it to them. Don't necessarily show them the box. You don't need to do that. Just give it to them. And there's really no things on it that indicated zombies. It says a Z on it, but you could pretend that's for, like, killing aliens on planet Zord or something. It really doesn't matter, you know? You could go anywhere with it. So, if you're thinking of getting this for a present or for your small child, I mean, there's nothing on the gun that's gonna frighten them or anything, so don't be worried about that. But as well, it's just very, very nice, you know? Easy to use. Well, actually, it's a little harder on the hard side, but it's very cool. I'd recommend it for some of the older NERF players if you're going to get an overall. That being said, a lot of young children will still understand it. It's actually rated. I don't know what it's rated, but you can check that out on pictures online, what it's rated and stuff, like ages 8 and up or something like that. But anyway, that was my review of the NERF Zombie Strike Sledgefire. As always, this was NerfBoy Productions, signing off.